I'll bet you guys will be in San Francisco on June 4th. I don't know where you'll be on June 8th or 9th, but I'll bet Oakland. I don't know, Oakland or San Francisco, one of the two.
I'll take it. LeBron, speak to us, my friend.
For us defensively, we have to be in tune with every single last one of them. Whoever's on the floor, we have to be in tune. First of all, the most important thing is the ball. And the ball's going to start in Jeff Teague's hand. And from that point on, to Kyle Korver, to DeMar Carroll, to Al Horford, to Paul Millsap, on down the guys that come in after that, we have to be in tune. And if we do that, what we've been doing, throughout the first 10 games of our postseason, we'll be fine. I just try to lead these guys and try to give them the right path, and it's up to those guys to decide which way they want to go. And they listen to my command. I demand excellence out of every last one of them, including myself, and I just want them to be great.
So the Eastern Conference Finals begin tonight as the Cavaliers visit the Hawks in Game 1. This will be the 4th time in his career that LeBron James faces a 1 seed in the conference finals. His teams have won the series each of the previous 3 times. No Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving slowed by injury. During the postseason, we're wondering if LeBron can handle it all. We're putting him on the hook. Joining us now is Brian Windhorst. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back. So this is good night for you. You didn't even go to bed.
Right? Barely, and I'm going to Atlanta right from here to the airport to Atlanta.
This is the postseason.
Thank goodness for the 8:30 start.
Yeah, no one sleeps during the postseason, especially media folks. So tell me, how much pressure, extra pressure there would be on LeBron tonight with this new team?
Well, this is a new team and a new opponent, but it's not really, because Mike Budenholzer is going into the archives and pulling out the Greg Popovich. This is my assumption. I don't know. Pulling out the Greg Popovich game plan.
Right.
And the game plan is going to be what Greg Popovich believes about LeBron. He doesn't believe he can shoot under pressure. Now, in 2007, worked. They killed him. 2013, LeBron got him back. Beat him, especially in Game 7. They backed off. He killed him last year.
He almost didn't beat him in Game 6, but that's a whole other story.
You are correct about that. He did miss a couple in that one.
He missed a couple, but one guy made good for him.
And last year, he was pretty good. He actually played pretty well in the finals, but his team wasn't comparable. So I think that's what you're going to see, especially since LeBron shooting 37% on shots from 10 to 20 feet in the postseason, 15% outside three-point range. So the pressure's going to be on LeBron to deliver on this game plan. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll come out tonight and they'll smother him and force the ball into his hands, but that's not the Spurs way. And since the Spurs, or the Hawks, are essentially Spurs 2.0, I expect to see that tonight. So the pressure, certainly LeBron's, cohorts, his role players are going to be important. Kyrie, where was that foot and knee going to be? Let's see if LeBron can make some
That's a strong statement. Hawks or Spurs 2.0?
Of all the teams that have tried in the last decade to mimic the Spurs, whether it's hiring general managers, whether it's hiring their coaches, this is the closest thing to the Spurs. When LeBron lines up, and I realize DeMar Carroll is not Kawhi Leonard. I realize Al Horford is not Tim Duncan. It's Spurs Light. Maybe Spurs Light's better than Spurs 2.0. Okay. But the game plans that the Hawks play, the moving of the ball, the defensive strategies, LeBron is going to be flashing back to him being in a Heat uniform and looking at silver and black across the way.
Okay.
And I'm not beating this stat to death, but in the previous series against the Chicago Bulls that win 6 games, LeBron James from three-point land shot 3 for 28. That's 11%, 3 for 28. But they won because they were just better than the Bulls, who I think had their own internal issues going on. Derrick Rose versus Jimmy Butler, we talked about yesterday. And maybe they didn't give quite their best, less than their best in Game 6. But I thought when LeBron attacked, he was sensational against the Bulls. Will he be able to attack this defense that way, where he can just be just bigger and stronger than everyone in the lane? Maybe so. Maybe he could be. But now back to your question. How much pressure is on him? To me, and feel free to disagree, I'm just doing the big picture. This is just my little world view of LeBron right now. I feel like there's less pressure on him today than there has been in all those previous finals, because of the loss of Kevin Love, and because Kyrie, even though he talked a good game, what was it, yesterday, I got my legs back underneath me. He's got a serious foot issue exacerbated by a knee issue on the other side. So can he be Kyrie? Can he be that guy who scored 57 at San Antonio? I don't think so. So doesn't that take a little pressure off LeBron? It just seems to me that it does, that the honeymoon gets extended a little bit, that nobody if they lose to the Hawks, nobody's going to say, "Oh, LeBron, how could you?" How it's all on you. I don't think people will say it's all on him.
I know I'm supposed to sigh here and disagree with you, but I do agree, and you're the best person to answer this question because you were a lot of times the heartbeat of the LeBron contrarian movement. If they lose this series,
the LeBron honesty movement.
Okay,
however you want to look at it.
Fair point.
Yes.
Fair point. If they lose this series, let's say they go and they end up playing the Warriors, and I think the Warriors are a better team. Let's say the Warriors beat them 4-1 or whatever. He goes home to his 2 rings and his MVP trophies, knowing that he probably didn't have the better team, and it's not like Miami losing to Dallas.
No way.
You know, it's not comparable. So I agree. I do think LeBron goes into the game not feeling like my career is being defined whether we win this series. But if tonight it's 96-96 with a minute and a half left and it's LeBron on the Hawks, you're expecting LeBron to win that game.
Sure.
So some of it will be how these games actually play out. And LeBron got great production from his role players this last series. I mean, he did not expect Matthew Dellavedova to have a 19-point game. Iman Shumpert stepping up. Will those guys step up and keep the pressure off him? Because LeBron had 1 great game in the last series, 1 good game in the last series, and 1 great shot. The rest of it, he wasn't that good. And he was able to get through it mostly because the Bulls didn't really deliver either.
Okay, so a year ago, we were about to be in San Antonio. And when we were there, I'm the mayor of that city.
Are you?
Unofficial. I think I've probably lost most of the title this year. But
Unofficially.
when we were there, I expected LeBron James to carry that Heat team. Dwayne was having issues with his knees, little age setting in. And I just thought that it was going to be LeBron or bust last year, and I put that much pressure on him in those games. And in game 1, there was a heat issue, remember, in the building.
Oh, yeah.
And LeBron cramped.
Well, according to the streets, what happened?
Yeah, the streets, I forget.
DJ Khaled said that
DJ Khaled said that Coach Pop turned the air off.
Maybe that'll be part of the Budenholzer. It's supposed to be, I think, 88 tonight in Atlanta.
Oh.
Well,
the circumstances are
there you go.
Our prime.
But only 1 player on the court. Of all those good players on the court, only 1 cramped, and it happened to be that guy. And it was still a close game, went to the wire. Spurs won game 1, set them up to just go crazy. And LeBron's team, and he was by far the best player on that team, and I think on the court in that series, they lost by a record finals margin. Okay, so now pressure off to me. Tonight at Atlanta, they are actually, the Cavaliers, a 1-point underdog. Who knew? And again, the odds makers, they're not favoring it. There's no emotion in that. Yeah. It's just Atlanta is a really good basketball team with a really good basketball coach. Their team unity occasionally can supersede LeBron's greatness, just his superstarness, because they don't have a superstar, but they got flow, they got cohesion, they got a scheme on both ends of the court, offense and defense, that maybe Cleveland doesn't quite have right now, or yet has. So it's fascinating to watch. I'm interested in it. I don't think the world is interested in the Atlanta Hawks outside the city of Atlanta. I think they're way more boring than my Spurs used to be seen as being, although I think people came around and Spurs became fun to watch.
Right.
But in this case, LeBron's minus, I mean, they get a point, so they're +1 tonight in game 1. Do I, you know what? I think Atlanta's going to win this game.
Wow.
Yeah, and the odds makers have something going for them. In the last 5 years, so 4 Heat years and this year, LeBron's lost game 1 7 times.
Yeah, 2 and 5.
Wow.
7 times.
Yeah.
Well,
so
Derrick Rose, it was several times going into
he went down to the Bulls 3 times.
3 times.
And he's won 6 of those. The one he didn't was Spurs last year. They didn't recover from that. But they tied it up. They took home court advantage back.
They did.
So
who do you have winning tonight?
I mean, based on that, I think it's going to probably be the Hawks.
Okay.
But I don't have a great, strong feeling about this series. I know this. Cavs are most worried about Kyle Korver.
Okay.
When they went to bed last night, they were worried about Kyle Korver.
In case we don't have you on the show, so who's winning the series?
I mean, I think they have the Cavs have the 2 best players.
So?
And I think LeBron's won a postseason road game in 20 straight series, one of the greatest statistics of his career.
That is a great stat.
Jordan did 24. Jordan's the all-time leader. So I think he's going to win a road game, so he'll have a chance to clinch at home. So I think the Cavs have the edge.
All right, so again, LeBron and the Cavs are 1-point underdogs tonight. However, our basketball power index says they will win the series at 62%. Brian Windhorst is sticking around. He made some unpopular comments, but we'll try to defend those. Yeah, Steph Curry's mini-me stole the show last night. I, in fact, thought it was adorable. We react in just a few moments.
On the Hook is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here.
I'll bet you guys will be in San Francisco on June 4th. I don't know where you'll be on June 8th or 9th, but I'll bet Oakland. I don't know, Oakland or San Francisco, one of the two.
I'll take it. LeBron, speak to us, my friend.
For us defensively, we have to be in tune with every single last one of them. Whoever's on the floor, we have to be in tune.
No Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving slowed by injury. During the postseason, we're wondering if LeBron can handle it all. We're putting him on the hook. Joining us now is Brian Windhorst. How are you?
Good morning.
Good
Welcome
morning.
back.
So
Yeah,
For myself, and I just want him to be great.
So the Eastern Conference Finals begin tonight as the Cavaliers visit the Hawks in Game 1. This will be the 4th time in his career that LeBron James faces a 1 seed in the conference finals. His teams have won the series each of the previous 3 times.
First 10 games of our postseason, we'll be fine. I just try to lead these guys and try to give them the right path, and it's up to those guys to decide which way they want to go. And you know, they listen to my command. I demand excellence out of every last one of them, including. First of all, the most important thing is the ball. And the ball's going to start in Jeff Teague's hand. And from that point on, to Kyle Korver, to DeMar Carroll, to Al Horford, to Paul Millsap, on down to guys that come in after that, we have to be in tune. And if we do that, what we've been doing, throughout the first